Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Star Trek Judgement Rites. And when last we left off, we'd started to do some various quests here on the village of Gothos, starting with delivering a letter for the wounded and permanently dying soldier. For that, we'll need to hand the letter over to Gretel in the tavern, but right now we're in the armory. The armory whose soldiers we successfully drugged with the drug in the beer. There are a few things we can do here, but for now, let's scan everything. There might be a power source here.
Photographs, medallions, and trophies. The tricorder does not detect anything unusual.
Fair enough. What about the safe?
The tricorder scan indicates that the safe contains trinitrotoluene, commonly referred to as TNT.
Who wants to bet we're going to end up using that by the end of this mission?
I suppose it might be an asset. Can you get it?
Probably.
My tricorder indicates the lock is atypical for the period. I would require the exact combination.
And I bet the man currently unconscious sat behind that desk is the one who knows it. Let's scan the weapons.
A German World War I Army rifle, Captain. There are no unusual readings from it.
There don't have to be.
Oh?
Indeed, Doctor. By this period, firearms were extremely efficient and deadly.
Yes, they were. What about the picture?
No unusual readings, Captain. This is an ordinary painting.
And I bet this is an ordinary painting too.
No unusual readings, Captain.
What about this one? Is that one unusual?
No unusual reading.
What about the bin? Is there something in there, Spock?
An ordinary metal waste paper basket, Captain. The tricorder detects no unusual properties.
Right. Well, time to get things. Like this gun. We might need it.
You have taken one of their rifles.
Actually, we will need it. We also need to talk to this gentleman here. But to do that, we're going to make sure he doesn't do anything. That way, he's not just going to shoot us. Now, we could try talking to him.
The man is unconscious, Captain.
We can sort that with McCoy. Off you go, McCoy. Wake him up.
I have a bad feeling about this.
So do I. But you've got to do it anyway, I'm afraid. Let's talk to him.
The commander of this armory, if looks could kill.
They'd be killing us right now, if looks could kill. Let's talk to him.
You'll never get me to talk.
I would prefer that you didn't.
That's a little bit of a smart aleck response.
You're nothing but a figment of Trelane's childish imagination. You're even less important than he is.
That's a bad thing to say.
Where's Trelane? Where's my crew?
That's not a bad thing to say.
I will tell you nothing.
He indeed will tell us nothing. There are basically a few things we could do here. We could probably threaten him with a phaser, but that's a bad idea. We do have an expert at getting information out of people who refuse to talk. And that is Spock, with a mind meld. Let's
I can
go.
mind meld with him to get the combination of the safe.
That's not quite what I was expecting you'd do, Spock, but it'll work.
Do it, Spock.
Let's see what he has to say.
Trelane.
This is not going how I thought it would.
Spock, snap out of it.
He's not going to do that, Kirk.
He's not paying attention to me. Run away.
The combination, Spock. Concentrate on the combination.
Probably difficult right now.
Kirk. I must have revenge on Kirk. Every great man has his enemy. Nothing could be more fun than revenge. The sensation to end all sensations.
Oh, this is a bad line of thinking if that's what Trelane is thinking.
Spock.
I am back, Captain. I was able to mind meld with Trelane to an extent through his replications. These men are the crew of the Shinobi, the original freighter that Trelane captured. Their thoughts have been altered by Trelane.
Good thing we've not been killing them, eh? Because that would be rubbish right now.
Where is the Enterprise, Spock?
Good question.
Or the Zimbabwe.
Also a good question.
I received the impression that Trelane is holding them prisoner. I also got the combination for the safe. Right 43, left 18, right 29, pull.
Well, with that, I think it's time to get that TNT. Excellent. We'll probably need this. For now, I think it's time to go. I have a theory. That was about to be a theory rather than a theory, but I have a theory that the clock that we saw in the shop is in fact another one of those power items. It was, after all, very expensive, and it was the one thing that he wouldn't just hand to us. I'm just going to go scan it. Let's see what it does.
The clock is another of Trelane's power objects, Captain.
Yep, I thought so. But right now we have other things to do. Mainly we need to go and go to the tavern and get that letter delivered. It is important that we get that letter delivered. It was important to the soldier, so it's important to us. Also, a small detail, all of these barrels of beer are gone because we delivered them to the armory. Let's hand over that note. Oh, here's a letter. It needs delivering.
Thank you, Captain. I will see that it is delivered.
Thank you. Now, remember this guy?
Herr Kirk, though my position as school superintendent keeps me busy, I'm always glad to help you.
We need to get him to let us have that chalkboard.
You know, I've been to inspect the chalkboard.
Yes.
I am very proud that we are spending money on the finest educational equipment, even during the middle of this accursed war.
Yeah, there's something about it. We kinda need it. Nope. He's not gonna hand that over. However, did you just take his beer? I've just noticed. You did! You just took his beer! He wasn't even noticing. That is sneaky. Well, we have a few things back here we need to do. Yes, he's not looking. You just took a drink out of his beer.
And what is the Bluffmeister up to this time?
We shall find out.
He doesn't bluff, he just complains about everything.
But if he wins...
I do not. If I did, I would have hit the ceiling with my last hand.
Oh?
You dealt, you deal with it.
There's no hand worse than the one you deal yourself.
We need to talk to these people. Hello.
I am busy. Please bother someone else.
Fair enough.
Welcome, friends. Can I help you?
You can indeed.
What can you tell me about the war?
Not that.
What can you tell me about Trelane?
Not that.
Can you help me get into this poker game?
Possibly that.
I need you to spread a rumor about a chalkboard.
That.
You say you need me to convince Herr Schiller to give you the kindergarten blackboard? Do not know why, but I would do anything if you could get the commander to issue a transfer for my son.
Oh? Fair enough. While we're here, let's get in on this poker game. After all, we need a lot of money.
Welcome, friends. Can I help you?
We need a lot of money.
What can you tell me about the war?
Not that.
What can you tell me about Trelane?
Not that.
Can you help me get into this poker game?
Yes.
I would lend you a stake to enter this game, but it appears that I will have to win a few hands to give you that money.
We have our own money. Let's use that, shall we?
Welcome to the game, Colonel.
Thank you. Let's see how long it takes for me to get all of your money.
3 hours later.
That's a long time. Did they all just stand there while that happened?
My God! Where did you learn to play poker, Colonel?
It would seem that, Spock has found something to keep himself occupied, and Ellis is bored.
Starfleet Academy.
That's a very honest answer.
We have enough money to purchase the clock, Captain. I suggest we do so without delay.
Fair enough. So we've just basically got all of their money. It's not going to be much of a poker game anymore. We could go buy that clock. And in fact, we will go buy that clock. And you stole more of his drink. How much drink is in there? Knowing Trelane and his inaccuracies, probably an unlimited supply. we are going to buy this clock. Let's hand all of this money over.
That's just enough to buy this neat clock.
What a coincidence! Excellent. We'll have that. And now let's go and have a word with the commander here. The one that we tied up. We're going to get him to sign some papers for us.
Save new, replace previous.
We basically... Oh, no, hang on. We need to save a new game.
Save new game.
We need to get him to basically sign over that transfer. Gonna be difficult, though. He's probably not going to be very keen to do it. Nope, he still doesn't look keen to help us with anything. We'll talk to him anyway.
You'll never get me to talk.
Okay.
I would prefer that you didn't. You're nothing but... Where's Trelane? I would prefer that you didn't.
Ah.
I will tell you nothing.
Well, we don't seem to be able to get that going. Is there anything on his table?
The commander's desk, covered with papers.
Could scan it, I suppose.
The tricorder detects nothing unusual.
I think we need to be, it sounds counterintuitive,
Save new,
but we
replace.
need to basically, let's have a look at him. No, we know that he's the commander here. We know that he's the commander. We need to persuade him to help us. And we're not going to do it with a phaser, we're going to do it with something in setting, which is a rifle.
You presume to threaten me, Colonel?
Yep.
I want you to sign transfer papers for Sundergaard's son. Send him away from the front.
Can't do that when he's tied up.
How typical of the press. Not too willing to sacrifice for the good of the nation. Untie me, and I shall sign papers to take this little coward away from his dude.
Well, we'll do it. There we go. Let's take those papers. No, we did tie him back up.
You have taken the signed transfer papers.
Marvelous. Now let's go and hand in another one of those fetch quests. Basically, we need to let the soldier over here know that we've managed to get that letter delivered. Also, the way that he was standing there, those legs at the bottom there were extremely thin. That's a limitation of the graphical style. Hello!
Nothing to report in the west.
We've managed to do what you wanted us to do.
What can you tell me? What can you tell about that locket?
We have delivered that for you.
You've delivered my letter? I guess I'll keep my promise. Have my locket.
Thank you. Thank you.
A lone soldier groans, but does not move.
Well, that's a relief. He went very motionless there for a while. I was worried he just died. We have the locket, which is important because we need the locket. Now we're going to have to go and hand over those papers so that we can get the guy at the poker table to spread a rumour so that we can then get the signed letter so that we can get the chalkboard. That's a long-winded way to go and get some items. But we're going to do it.
I told you I wasn't bluffing. We three kings will take the stake.
There's no actual money anymore.
I didn't know your good luck was only temporary. I'd be quite annoyed.
I have so few vices in my life. I must do the best I can with what I have.
Whose deal is it?
I don't know. Let's talk to him. Actually, no. Let's just hand him the actual signed papers. That's what he wants.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. I cannot express my gratitude.
Well, you could spread that rumor for us.
If there is anything I can do for you, please let me know.
Funny you should mention that.
Welcome, friends. Can I help you?
There is something you can do for me.
What can you tell me about? I need you to spread a rumor about a chalkboard.
You will do that now.
You say you need me to convince Herr Schiller to give you the kindergarten blackboard. I would do anything for the man who got the commander to issue a transfer for my son.
Thank you. Now, instantly, there's a rumor. But I think we need to talk to him first, if memory serves. I think we need to talk to him. Let's have a talk with him.
Herr Kirk, though my position as school superintendent keeps me busy, I'm always glad to help you.
You look worried. It wouldn't happen to be about the chalkboard by any chance.
What a coincidence!
I have heard the most horrifying rumors about these boards. Do you think they are true?
They might be!
Absolutely. If you wish, I could dispose of the thing for you before anyone is harmed. I'd need a letter for Frau Hopperding.
Also, interestingly, you're just gonna believe this.
Absolutely. Let me just take pen to paper.
Okay.
Take it when you want to destroy the vile thing.
Oh, I will. Thank you. We shall now hand this over and go and get that chalkboard.
You pick up the piece of paper.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to leave, and I'll probably never go back to this place again. Here we go. Okay. We now need to go and get that chalkboard. Excellent. School is right here. Hello, teacher. We have a letter for you. It's not to say that Kirk can't come to school today because he's feeling unwell. It's because we need to get that chalkboard.
Well, if the superintendent says you must take it, you must.
Thank you. That's a very good animation there. Like, where did that go?
This seems pointless.
Where did that go, Kirk? Really, where did it go? I have no idea where you put that. I'm actually very concerned as to where you put that. Actually, let's not think about it. Where are you keeping any of the things that you've got here? Where are you keeping any of them? Also, we're going this way.
There it is, the triplane that shot down the Enterprise.
It's probably far more than a triplane. Probably far more than a triplane.
Why don't you start it up and fly off in a blaze of glory? After all, you are James T. Kirk, the toast of Starfleet. The man who never loses.
That's probably not true.
Mr. Ellis.
What's the matter, Kirk? The truth hurts? You never let that get in the way of your ego before.
I'm putting you on report for insubordination. We're all upset, Mr. Ellis, but these insults won't solve a thing.
That's a good, option.
That's it. I've taken all I can stand from you.
Let's not have that one.
I'm putting you on report for insubordination.
I think the second one is probably right.
We're all upset, Mr. Ellis, but these insults won't solve a thing.
They won't.
I don't believe in mincing my words, Captain. If you can't accept my honest opinion, too bad.
Fine, but do yourself a favor and stay out of my way. That's it. I've taken all I can stand from you. Fine, but do yourself a favor and stay out of my way.
That's probably better.
Kirk, I'm going to be in your face so much that you're never going to forget what I look like.
You really have an axe to grind.
Commander, I know a treatment that has a good success rate at reducing excess aggressiveness. It's called reason.
That's a good counterpoint there. Let's have a look around here. Actually, first let's look at this castle.
Castle Trelane. What else could it be?
That's a good point. Can we scan it from here?
I'm picking up immense power readings from that castle in the distance. There is a high probability that it's Trelane's base.
Well, of course it's Trelane's base. Where do you expect Trelane to live? A slum?
Good point.
Doctor, your display of emotion is quite unnecessary.
But very McCoy. Before we end this video here, we have one more thing we should do, which is walk up to the actual castle. Will it let us do that? Yes! Look at that castle!
Castle Trelane.
We might as well actually just scan it. It's important we do that. Very important.
Captain, the force field around the castle is extremely intense. I get the same energy signature from it as I did from the triplane that attacked the Enterprise.
Mr. Spock, is there any way to penetrate it?
Probably.
The force field permeates the ground, Captain. The largest weapons of this era could not penetrate the force field.
Fair enough.
If we could generate a disruption on the wavelength, the field could be breached, although we would not have much time before it was re-established.
Probably have long enough to get in there, though.
How could we generate such a disruption?
Destroying power items?
By physically destroying other objects that resonate on that wavelength.
Yes, we have a few of those.
Objects like the power objects that we have already found.
Indeed. We should look around in general.
A large immovable rock.
Fair enough.
The grass looked greener on the other side of the hill.
Well played there, narrator. Well played.
It looks like perfect flying weather for the humble Baron of Gothos.
Have you heard how humble he is? He's very humble.
Lieutenant Commander Ellis, who's rather glad he hasn't served on the Enterprise.
He definitely has an axe to grind.
Dr. McCoy, an enterprising Chief Medical Officer. Mr. Spock, an enterprising First Officer.
Are we making points about all these people working on the Enterprise and Ellis not?
James Kirk, an enterprising Captain.
Yes, we are.
Here we are at Trelane's doorstep. What's the matter, Trelane? Is the great Baron of Gothos afraid to come out and play?
Don't provoke Gothos. Don't provoke the Baron of Gothos here. It's not gonna work. In your benefit, anyway.
I would have thought someone with Trelane's ego would have jumped to make a grand entrance from the castle.
Probably.
Obviously, he's waiting for a moment of maximum theatrical effect.
Good point.
Or maybe you're just a coward, Trelane.
Don't provoke him.
It is interesting that he does not choose to appear at this time.
It is interesting.
And quite annoying, although perhaps I should count my blessing.
Definitely.
An impressive edifice.
Now, what do you have to say, Ellis?
Well, here we are. I wonder what kind of death this person has in store for us.
Hopefully none. We actually don't want to be here right now. We want to be here. By this triplane. And when we come back, folks, we shall do something with this triplane. It's probably going to involve that TNT.
Save new game.
Or maybe it'll just involve phasers.
Replace.
But we definitely need to deal with that triplane. Because, if we look at it,
a Fokker DR-1.
and then we scan it,
another abnormally high reading emanating from the plane. It is in every way a Fokker DR-1, except for that power source.
yes, it's one of the power source items. So, when we come back, folks, we're going to have to do something about all these powerful items. And we have all the stuff in our inventory to do that with. So, I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.